Hey guys, it's Dawn and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So NaNoWriMo is starting today and I already may have messed things up for myself. So not in any real way that matters, but in October I was supposed to only write 40,000 words in my draft and I got a little carried away and wrote 50,000 words last month. So I basically did NaNoWriMo a month early because I'm special. I don't know. So I wrote 50,673 words in the first 29 days of October. And then I took a break for the 30th and the 31st because I was afraid that if I wrote any more, I definitely wouldn't have enough to write another 50,000 words in November. I'm already pushing it anyways, but I just thought that would not help if I wrote 2 more days in October. So hopefully I left myself enough to be able to win NaNoWriMo, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I just want to finish my draft, but it is really fun to win NaNoWriMo. I can't lie. Anyways, let's talk about where I'm at right now in the story. So I'm almost done with the second act, which if you guys are familiar with, there's a bunch of yappy dogs outside. Hold on. So if you're familiar with a 3-act structure, the second act is the longest and most difficult to write, and I am almost finished with it. So I literally have 4 scenes left to write, and most of that is actually stuff that I'm rehashing from the novella. So I'm not really rewriting a ton. Some of it will be copy and paste and then just editing details to make sure everything connects properly from the novella version to now the novel version. But it's actually not going to be that much work to get the second act finished. So we're almost there. I'm feeling really good just because everyone says the middle is the hardest part. The second act is the hardest thing to write. And the fact that I'm almost done with it and now able to move on, or will be able to move on to the third act, is very encouraging. So I'm feeling good about that. So for my book, based on kind of what I was looking at in the Save the Cat method, because I did use that for some of the troubleshooting in my outlining process, my approach from the midpoint through the end of the second act has been to do what's basically described as you give a false victory at the midpoint, which I kind of did. It's hard to explain without like spoiling the whole book, but you give a false victory. And then for the rest of the second act, you're supposed to make things kind of fall apart for the characters. And so that's what I've been doing up until this point. And then basically on my own, because I'm not sure if this is like part of like the normal story structure or whatever, because I'm not sticking to it super religiously, but I'm having everything kind of fall apart. And then you think things have been put together and that everything's going to end well. And then there's going to be sort of like unexpected thing that happens that pushes the characters into the third act, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of doing the final wrap up on where you think that everything's going to turn out well and everything's going to be okay and they're going to be happy and all that kind of stuff, and then you're going to get slapped in the face and it's going to be like, nope, you thought. So that's kind of where I'm at in the story. And then in the third act, I'm going to do something, I wouldn't necessarily call it experimental because I'm sure other people have done it. It's not like it's this super unique storytelling method or whatever. But for the entire book, excluding the prologue that may or may not stay in the final version of the story, it's all been from Ildrana's perspective in the third person. However, in the third act, I'm going to shake things up a little bit and just throw in a bunch of different perspectives, just to kind of have a different angle or a bunch of different angles for the story, and then come back to Ildrana's perspective right before the climax, basically. So it's kind of different. And like I said, I'm sure it's been done before. It's not as if I'm like reinventing the wheel or something. But I'm hoping it'll be a sort of unexpected thing for the readers, just because they'll be so used to reading from Ildrana's perspective. And then suddenly, they hit the third act and they're, getting chapters from all these secondary characters that are kind of describing what's going on from their perspective. And so it's just, you know, you get kind of different angles, you get different thoughts and opinions and interpretations of what's going on. And it should just, I hope it will serve to further round out the world and explain the conflict of the story, basically. So I'm very excited for that because I did not do it in the novella. The novella is very simple, you know, there's a lot less there than what's going to be in the climax of the novel. So I'm excited to write something new as far as that stuff. But on the other side, all the stuff that happens with Ildrana in the third act is drawn mostly from the novella. So once again, there's going to be scenes that I'm basically copy pasting into my new manuscript and just kind of going through and fixing details to make sure everything connects, maybe rewording things here and there, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I have left for my book. Oh, there go the dogs again. 1 second. All right, I'm just gonna finish because I think the dogs are all just out in their yards right now and they're talking to each other. So it's unavoidable for the time of day that I chose to record. Anyways, happy first day of NaNoWriMo. I hope you have a great first day and a great first week, because probably I won't upload another video until day 8. You know, I'll do like a vlog a week basically. But I'm super excited and I'm feeling very optimistic because the last few months I've set really good writing rituals for myself. So it's been relatively, you know, I don't want to say easy, but it's been relatively approachable and manageable to get my writing done every day. So I feel good about it. I'm going to, at the very least, finish the draft this month. So if I don't hit 50,000 words, it'll be because I didn't have 50,000 words left, which is fine. It's not a big deal. It's all just arbitrary, but I am very excited and I feel really good about this project. I love this project. Oh, now I hear the pitter patter of little feet. Okay, I better go. Have a great week, guys. And as always, happy writing. Bye.